everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Blanca, and today is
Wicked Wine Wednesdays, where we talk about true crime and sample wines.
Today we'll be discussing the Donna Scrivo case.
So if you like wine and true crime, don't forget to
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, so before we jump in, I just want to remind you guys that us sampling the wines and talking about them will come at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and stay tuned until then. I also want to make the announcement that we are a believer in science. And for some reason, every other Wednesday, something seems to come up, whether it's a health-related issue with one of us or one of our kids. There's just always seems to be something that comes up. So we're taking that as a sign that the universe doesn't want us to post every Wednesday. So we are going to be posting every other Wednesday from here on out. So thank you for everybody who continues to support us, and let's jump right in.
This case is disturbing to say the least. Rather disgusting. Donna Scrivo and Ramsay Scrivo are who we're going to be talking about today, and Donna was the mother and Ramsay was the son. They were from Michigan, and in about 1999, he graduated from high school. From there on, he went to Wayne State University, where he received a bachelor's degree. Shortly after, he did some work as an accountant and then quit that and decided to open up his own lawn maintenance service. His parents were Donna and Daniel. They helped him get a condo in St. Clair Shores. They all eventually ended up moving in there, which allowed Donna to control Ramsay, I guess you can say, but in her words, it was what was best for him. I'm gonna go with it was what was best for her.
Ramsay needed constant support from his parents due to many serious mental issues that he had. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. He believed that people were listening to his conversations through a microphone that they had installed in his teeth, and he thought that people were poisoning him. It was just a mess. He also had bouts of uncontrollable anger when he wasn't taking his antipsychotics, and from there on, he just needed the support from his parents. Ramsay's mother, Donna Scrivo, was born in 1954 in Dallas, Texas. She became a nurse. She then met Daniel Scrivo, and they got married in 1978. They had a son named Jason, who is Ramsay's older brother, and then they had decided to move to Michigan because that's originally where Daniel was from. After they moved there, they had Ramsay 3 years later, and Daniel, Ramsay's father, he struggled with hepatitis C. He was sick for most of his life. He ended up having to have open heart surgery, which actually led to his death in 2013.
After the death of his father, Ramsay was threatening to hang himself. A judge decided to give his mother, Donna, guardianship over her 32-year-old son. He also agreed to go through a 90-day mental health mental health treatment. And he also agreed that once he was being released from the 90 days, that he would continue with all of his medications and follow all of his mom's rules. Everyone in the family was super worried for Ramsay at that point because of how controlling Donna was over him. 8 months before his father passed away, she actually went to her high school reunion in Texas. She rekindled with an old love of hers there. She continued talking to him once she returned back home to Michigan, and after Daniel had passed away, she kind of started talking to Ramsay about wanting to move to Texas, and he really wasn't having that.
In January 2014, Ramsay had went missing. On January 26th, Donna had reported her son missing. The search began, and the cops had searched his phone, and it gave them no leads. No one had heard from him or seen him. It seemed like he had just up and disappeared. On January 30th, a woman was driving down a road, and she spotted 3 black garbage bags. She stopped and looked inside one of them, and she said one of them seemed to hold what appeared to be intestines. She got back into her car and drove a little bit more up the road, and she saw more bags. She opened it, and out rolled a human head. Officers came and found the bags that contained body parts, clothes, as well as burnt documents. They continued to find bags that were just appearing out of nowhere. One of them contained a saw that had 4 blades, and it also contained women's clothes and a Coke bottle.
The police stated that the body belonged to a white male. They searched all their data, they searched all the missing people around in the area, basically anyone that would fit this profile. Then they lifted fingerprints off of the body, and they did match it to one Ramsay Scrivo. They did an autopsy on the body as well, but they did find his cause of death to be strangulation. His body, however, was chopped into about 14 different pieces, and his right arm was never found. Kind of weird.
Yeah. What happened to the right arm?
I really don't know. But we do know that his mom, Donna, was seen carrying black garbage bags the day she reported her son missing. I can't say she was also seen because we don't really know if it was her, but a woman did report another woman driving down a road dumping garbage bags. Again, why wouldn't you just dump them in a normal dump versus the side of a road?
Yeah.
I guess that's on you, Donna. I'm curious to know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to interview her.
For real. The little cherry on all that happens to be a security camera footage catches her 1990 Chevy Blazer near a gas station. Well, near one of the dump sites.
Yeah.
So, kind of got you there on that one. The crime lab did find evidence in her SUV of blood, and they also found traces in home of blood, but also bleach covering up the blood.
Mm-hmm. Later on, after discovering the body parts, sheriffs of Macomb County arrested 59-year-old Donna Scrivo. They charged her with mutilation of a corpse, a felony, and the removal of a dead body without permission of a morgue, which I don't even know how that's a thing, but I guess
I think
not.
it's basically just saying, like, if you found a dead body
Oh,
and they
then you,
couldn't
like,
get
move it?
to it,
Yeah.
like, and if you had permission to, like, I guess, like, pick up the dead body and move it.
Then okay.
Yeah,
I mean, but they didn't arrest her, charging her with murder because at this point they had not had the like rules from the autopsy of what the cause of death was. So they couldn't charge her with murder. So they just charged her with mutilation of a corpse, a felony, and the removal of a dead body.
I mean, hey, still something.
Yeah, it's something to get her in. They searched the condo and they found blood evidence throughout the entire household. They found Ramsay's blood in his room, on his bedroom wall. They found it on the porch, on the handrails of their stairs, as well as the bathtub, which was one of the most gruesome areas. It's not like there was a lot of blood in it, but it showed that there was something that had been burned in it, which is pretty gruesome.
Yeah. But also, let's go back. The porch? Like, was she just, like, out publicly killing
No,
people?
I think probably from her, like, taking the bags out. There was probably blood, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. My bad.
They took Donna Scrivio's DNA when she was arrested, and her DNA was found on the Coke bottle that they had found in one of the bags. Her DNA wasn't found on the body, which seemed to be a huge part of her defense. They tried to say, well, her DNA wasn't on the body, so she didn't do it. A Lowe's nearby had security footage of her coming in and buying a jigsaw, and she had later returned back to the store and got a new one because she said the one that she had got had trouble charging. And it was the same brand that they had found inside one of the bags. So, evidence is piling up.
They were never able to establish a motive. They had absolutely no idea. When the trial took place in May of 2015, Donna decided to plead not guilty. Shocker. She also decided to act as a witness for herself and told the jury how a masked man came into the home and held a gun to her head, then murdered her son, cut him up, and made her dispose of all the evidence. So made her go to the store for the jigsaw, made her throw away the garbage bags, made her clean up everything in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you say. She also does state that the masked man lived in the home for 5 days.
What was she doing, feeding him?
Yeah, for real. Like, honestly, what were you doing?
This girl's tripping.
He was even living with her when she reported Ramsay missing. So, why not just report the masked man at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're already at the police station. And if he's forcing you to tell, might as well try and save yourself from a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
But also, why was your son murdered and not you?
Yep. Donna states that she was handcuffed to the bed by the masked man for the majority of the time, and that he only let her go when he needed things to be done, like buying the jigsaw, or disposing of the body, or cleaning up the evidence.
Or going to the police.
Yeah, to report her son missing. Obviously, the prosecution was not buying her story. They tore that story apart and cross-examined her like crazy, asking her why the masked man let her live but killed her son, and why she wouldn't tell anybody about the masked man when she was free and at the police station. She waited 16 months to tell anybody about this masked man, and she swears that she's innocent to this day. On June 23rd, the jurors found her guilty of first-degree murder, and the judge sentenced her to life in prison without parole, which she deserves. But she swears she didn't do it. I watched the whole like testimonial or whatever. She says that like they ask her where the masked man was when she like went to report him missing and stuff, and she says he was in the backseat of her car, hiding in the backseat of her car. Even when the security footage had her at the gas station, that he was in the backseat of her car, hiding the whole time. No, like...
Okay, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, a Chevy Blazer, but I'm pretty sure if somebody was, like, hiding in the backseat...
Like, you would see something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so she tries to say that the masked man was hiding in the back of her car whenever she was doing things.
Also, it's not that hard to be at a police station and be like, I'm going to be reporting my son missing. And also,
there's somebody in the backseat of my car.
That somebody murdered him and that he is in the backseat of my vehicle. But no, you wait pretty much till your trial to come up with a story about a masked man.
16 months.
You've gone through how much of, like, police interrogation, I'm sure polygraphs, like, so much before the even trial happens. And at no point do you ever mention a masked man. But he was only in your house for 5 days.
I don't get that. Her husband has the idea that her motive was because she rekindled this fling in Texas and wanted to move back to Texas, and her son, who she had to take care of, didn't want to. So she thought, well, let's get rid of him. Which honestly sounds like a good motive to me. Not to kill somebody.
Not to kill, but
for her, like, I feel like that's something that definitely...
I feel like it would make the most sense because it does seem like she wanted to move to Texas. Ramsay wasn't for it. She had to take care of somebody that was mentally ill, which is not always the easiest having to do.
Yeah, but it's your child. You know what I mean?
I know, but I mean, in that sense too, it is your child. But you still, like, you took his life away from him because what? Because you wanted to go and live somewhere else and think you could have this better life somewhere, like,
yeah.
Life isn't going to work out how you want it to.
Yeah.
From freaking the moment you're born to the moment you're dead.
Like, your kids should go above anybody. Like, I don't care that you rekindled some fling. Like, your child should always go above everybody, no matter what.
Being a parent, it does not stop when they turn 18. Yeah, we make all the jokes in the world. Oh, once they're 18, we're done with this.
But it doesn't. No. It doesn't.
This is...
My parents help me take care of my kids. Her parents help her take care of her kid. Like...
This is until we're all dead, basically.
Yeah, like, it doesn't...
Until somebody dies.
It doesn't
and we're all going in this little circle, and we're all helping, we're all taking care.
Yeah. This case obviously pisses both of us off because
100%.
we both have kids and we could not fathom killing our kids. Just like the Chris Watts case, he killed his two daughters and his unborn son. Like, insane. But this is a boy that you had raised since birth up until the age of 32, and you've been taking care of him his whole life. And for her to just take his life away,
that's not
mind-boggling.
Okay. Like, it's just...
I mean, killing somebody isn't okay regardless.
Well, yes.
But obviously, I'm saying, like, this pisses both of us off. We're, like, this girl may she rot in hell. I don't care what kind of issues he had.
Chris Watts and everybody else who
Stephanie Lazarus
freaking murders children and all these other things that you do to children.
Yeah. I mean, even just killing all of you guys rot together. But at the end of the day, I don't care that she's sitting here saying that she didn't kill him and makes up this masked man. She's guilty. 100%, in our opinion. In our opinion, she's guilty. And in the juror's opinion.
In our opinion, the juror's opinion, the judge's opinion,
she's guilty.
She's guilty.
She did it.
And it's hard to believe. If she had even come forward about the masked man in the very beginning, then yes, maybe I would have believed her that somebody may have, like, I guess, made her do it, assist her do it. But again,
what? Again, where's the motive of even the masked man?
That anybody would come into their home and kill only one of them and leave the other alive, because the way that I see it is you killed one person and you left one alive, so now you got a loose end. And you know what they always say, you gotta take care of those loose ends. So I'm sure any masked man that just came and murdered your son would have seen you as a loose end and murdered you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They wouldn't have made you clean up your son's body and dispose of him. They probably would have been disposing you guys together.
Yeah, exactly. And also in the defense, they tried to say that how could somebody so little and like of her stature do this? But what we didn't talk about is that they found copious amounts of Xanax in his system. And it was actually Xanax that was prescribed to Donna. And after they discovered the body and searched her home, they found that that bottle of Xanax had been prescribed for a 90-day use, and there was one left. So either she's popping Xanax left and right, or she's giving them to Ramsay, which I think that she sedated him enough to do it. So I think the defense's case saying, oh, she's too small to do this.
I mean, being a little person, first of all, if you're angry, you got enough strength.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you're probably really trying to take out somebody a lot bigger than you, sedating them and then strangling them and then I won't lie, probably would be the best way to go, because our tiny ass would not be able to fully take out somebody.
Like for the defense to even put that in the argument makes no sense. Like the Xanax was enough to OD him, enough to kill him, but that wasn't the cause of his death. It was strangulation. So she obviously gave him enough Xanax
enough to like make him pass out, I want to say.
Yeah, and he obviously wasn't dead because he was still breathing. So she decided to. That's the thing, is like strangulation, if it's a bigger dude that's trying to throw her off and like get her off of him, it's not going to work. But if he's already sedated, all she has to do is strangle him and then call it a day, which is what I think she did, in my opinion.
Or she could have just put a pillow over his face, because at that point, if you're so sedated.
Well, they said by strangulation, so
that's true.
It has to be around the
suffocation.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, obviously, I'm just saying she's the one that did it, but them not finding DNA on the body, like her DNA on the body, is kind of weird.
See, that's where I'm like, okay, if she did come forward about the masked man, like, I would have maybe, like, have seen, like, a way to see how it was possible, because the fact that there was no DNA on the body.
Yeah.
But then my other thing is, well, what if she wore, like, gloves?
Yeah.
Because if they only found her DNA on the Coke bottle, they don't really say where it was on the Coke bottle, but most likely from you taking a sip of it. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I can think of is maybe she like strangled him and then cut him up with like gloves on and then was dealing with gloves versus like bare hands. And that's the only reason why they didn't find DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
There you go. We just solved it for you guys.
All right. So, on a more positive note, we are going to talk about the wines that we tried and let you know what we think. So, the wine that I tried, it's a big bottle.
Giant.
It is, what is this called? Bridge Road. Bridge Road. It's called Bridge Road, and it's a Cabernet.
Shocking.
And I actually really like this. It's obviously a cheaper wine. I think this bottle...
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah, go ahead. I think this bottle was like $11 or something like that, and it's a liter of wine. So, it's good, right?
Yeah, it's not as bitter as all your other ones.
Yeah. So, it's
very
considered...
Oaky.
Yeah, you think?
I always can taste
oak. There's not even any oak in this one.
I don't know. I always taste some oak. I'm sure there is with Cabernets.
I know there usually is, but I don't know. So it's considered full-bodied. It's more on the dry side, which I don't really taste, but it is considered a dry wine. It's delicious. I really liked it. The first sip that I had, I was like, wow, this is a really good wine. It has notes of blackberry and blackcurrant. It goes well with steak and short ribs and a big juicy burger.
Which we're about to have.
Yeah. After this, we're eating a burger. And it comes from California, and it's best served at room temperature, which is what I serve all my wines anyway. So I enjoyed it. I really liked this wine.
It was not terrible.
I will drink this whole bottle.
I'm sure you will. Alrighty, guys. So the one that I tried is the. Let me see. Can you? Where is it? There we go. It's the Winking Owl. So it's a Moscato, and it's also from California. I feel like we should start trying wines out of California.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of our wines that are sold here, though, are from California.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them are from Italy, but I feel like that's kind of hard to find.
Yeah. Anyway, it's definitely on the sweeter side. The first few sips that I took, I was trying to tell her, I'm like, this is like almost pure sugar.
Yeah, and I was like, is that a problem?
I mean, definitely not a problem, but I feel like my taste buds are changing because I'm definitely...
Because you're old?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you really want to go there...
I mean, we're both old. It's okay.
You're older.
True.
Yeah, I'm not really liking the sweets as much. Like,
really?
honestly.
I want to actually try it. Oh, I'm
some
scared,
of the sweets.
Oh, I'm already like feeling the gag in my throat.
It's sweet, but it is very light-bodied. It does say that it has delightful flavors of ripe citrus, apricot, and peach, which I feel like you can probably definitely taste.
I taste the peach for sure.
Okay. I thought so too. And then it says that it pairs very well with like spicy cuisine. So maybe like Indian, I guess. Mm-hmm. Light cheeses and desserts. So if you want that charcuterie board.
Yeah. But also with like desserts, like you're gonna have the sweet and sweet. Like I feel like that'd be so much. Yeah.
But maybe it's I don't know. Well, it says light cheeses and desserts, so maybe like a light dessert, like a cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it is best served when it's chilled.
She didn't have a chilled.
Maybe it would have tasted differently if we had chilled it. I'm wondering. I'll chill it and then I'll try it. And
we'll get back to you guys on how it tastes chilled. I'm sure it's pretty similar.
We definitely had it at room temperature. Definitely on the sweeter side of things. But like I said, charcuterie boards, if you're trying to have it with like desserts, not that terrible of a wine if you like sweets. If you're not a sweet person, do not go for this one. Thank you everybody for watching, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Bye!